Okay. I believe we are live. Pretty sure. I think we are good to go. Checking a couple things really quick. All right, I think we're good. I hope the microphone is okay. I'm using the one off of my webcam right now because my other one is I'm waiting on a new microphone, so I hope the volume or I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope the levels are good, but we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna give it a couple excuse me, I'm just gonna give this a couple minutes for people to start coming in. I know this was kind of a last minute thing, but really just wanted to jump on. A lot of people haven't been here in a while. I haven't updated in quite some time, and for that, I do sincerely apologize. It's been a super busy month. You can hear me good? Hi. Hi, everyone. Awesome. 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 As long as the volume is okay. It's a little muffled. Yeah. I'm waiting on a new microphone that I ordered to come in. I'm using the one off of my webcam right now, so I'm trying to like project project volume wise so that you guys can hear okay. Hello, hello. Yes, I know that it's been a while, so I wanted to do this, you know, live question and answers, just talking about the law, answering some questions that you guys have, and just get back into the swing of things. This month has been super, super crazy because I am getting ready to move to another state. So needless to say, it's been kind of wild. So because of that, I just want to get on here and get interacting with you guys, and I'm looking forward to this. All right. Just gonna give it maybe one more minute or so to let people keep coming in. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I will get to as many of your questions. Don't worry. We will get rolling. What to know is I already love the questions you guys have coming in. This is great. This is gonna be fun. I am excited. Hi. Hey, Lonnie. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Lots and lots of questions. Good, 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 good. So let me start up here. Oh, I love this one. Manifesting events on a global scale. For example, you create a scene in your mind where the news says Corona is over. Yes. So I assume that you're talking about like bigger manifestations, like more on the macro level. And absolutely, absolutely, it is possible. 100%. 100%. Can we have more than a purge? Kato, do you mind expanding on that one a little bit? I'm curious. More than a purge. Are you talking about when all of the old is coming up, all of the old beliefs and assumptions and concepts, that kind of purge, I'm assuming? Does my SP know you manifested him? He does. He does. Yeah, he knows about manifestation, he knows about the law, he knows about Neville, and at first, he wasn't really buying it, but now he is an absolute believer. Hey, Priscilla, how do we kill the ego? Ooh, that's that is a loaded question. We will get to that one though. Absolutely. That's actually a really good one. I need to do a whole video on that topic. And by ego, I assume you're talking about the old man, killing the old man. What are my thoughts on angel numbers? With angel numbers, it has as much meaning as you give it, right? So whatever meaning that you're giving to these numbers, like 111 or 222, 1111, all those, Neville has a wonderful lecture called The Pearl of Great Price. And I also made a video about the Pearl of Great Price. I strongly recommend reading that lecture to kind of give you a better idea of, things like tarot and astrology and angel numbers. Basically, those things have about as much power as we give them. But ultimately, it's important to remember that there's nothing outside of you that has any kind of power over you. Period. Period. Hey, Claudia. Hi. Isn't the SP a co-creator? No. So the co-creator thing is uh, that's more of the law of attraction and what they teach in the law of attraction as co-creator, like we're co-creators with the universe. I assume that's what you're talking about, but no, no. In your reality, you're the one in charge. You are the creator. There's nothing else. There's nothing outside of you. You are the creator. I do sound a little muffled. I I know. I'm using the microphone off of my webcam because my other one I'm waiting for a new microphone to come in the mail, but I'm trying to project as much as I can. Next time I will have my microphone. I'm going to be doing these more often because they're a lot of fun. How many times do we need to revise a situation? That, Maria, is an excellent question. It's one that I get a lot, and ultimately, it's going to depend on the situation. It's going to depend on, the I guess the impact that the situation had on you. If it was a bigger event or smaller event, so to speak. Sometimes you can do it in one go. Sometimes it takes a few times, but you will, the more that you do it when it comes to revision, the more that you revise a situation, like you're going to start to know if it's, quote unquote working. You're going to start to know if you are effectively erasing that old memory and impressing the new story because the old memory or that old story is going to become, you're going to be less attached to it. If that makes sense. But you will know, like if you've revised something once and it's still very vivid in your mind and it's still very attached to you, then I would recommend doing it again. Hello from Ireland. Nice. Nice. I love Ireland. Oh, it's so beautiful. What to do if you've ruined all your chances? A day completed. Okay. Well, I'm curious what you mean by ruined all your chances, because they're really when you say that, it's telling me that that is an assumption that you have ruined every chance that you've had, and that you don't get another chance at manifesting your SB back. And it's important. I want everyone here to really, really take to heart that it doesn't matter what the circumstances look like. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. There is always, 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 always a way that you can manifest your person back. Before my SP conformed and we had time apart, did I ever have feelings of doubt? I started making decisions for myself and took them off the pedestal. So for me, when I was manifesting my person back, did I have moments of doubt? I mean, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that was quite the journey, and of course, especially more towards the beginning of that. Yes, I had moments of doubt, absolutely, and it really was. And the whole thing that I wanted to everybody to take away from that video was when I really started to do the work on myself, when I really started to work on my self concept, when I really started to recondition those old beliefs and all of those old patterns, those insecurities, the jealousy, that was when I was in a place to manifest my SD back. That is what moved me into what Neville called the sabbath. And once I was in the sabbath, that place, there was no doubt. Once I was there was zero, zero doubt that he was going to come back. But before that, yes, absolutely. Oh my God, thank you so much. You're right. Thank you for the super chat. That is awesome. Congratulations. Congrats. I worked really hard on myself, self concept, mental diet, and focused solely on myself, and my SP came back. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. Yes, 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 yes. Congrats. I love it. Bill. Hi, Bill. Oh, it's so wonderful to see you. I miss you too. Yeah, seriously, congrats, Eli. How did I stop feeling jealous when SP dated other people? And did it make me feel replaceable? So that when I was, after we first, well, no, after we broke up the second time, when me and my person broke up the second time, obviously I was tremendously heartbroken, right? And this was before I found Neville. This was really when I was still in the thick of that old story and the old concepts that I used to carry. And so naturally, I felt terrible. I felt jealous all the time. I did not feel good about myself, and it was clearly reflecting. All of it was a reflection. All of it, everything on my 3D was feedback to what was going on internally. But yeah, absolutely. Before I really began to focus on myself, all of that, I felt replaceable. I felt discarded. I felt just rampant insecurity, all of it, whole 9 yards. What does it mean when your manifestations start disappearing? Good question, John. Uh, do you mean that your manifestations came and then went away? Like you got them back and then they started to, like you lost them again? Or I think that's what you're trying to say. And if that is what you're trying to say, if when our manifestations disappear, basically you're reverting back to the old state of consciousness. If you are noticing that things are coming up from the previous story or from, what happened before, or if your manifestations are going away, it could be a sign that you could be trying to revert back into that old state of consciousness. So self-observation is everything. It is so, so important. And I cannot stress that enough because we are creatures of habit. And even if we do get our manifestations back, if we're not mindful, we could wind up losing the manifestation if we are, not paying attention, if we're not paying attention to the inner concepts. But the good news is that even if that happens, even if you notice that things are starting to go a little sideways and maybe things are not showing up in the way that you want them to anymore, that's just feedback for you to get back into that new story, that new self, the new dominant state of consciousness. Nothing is ever final. Nothing is ever final. If things go sideways, you can get it back on track. Doesn't matter. So, well, if someone told you that they really like classy lady, what if someone told you that they really liked you and want to be in a relationship with you, but they feel like they won't have enough time for you? How do you go about that? I would revise it. I would revise that conversation. If there's somebody that you really like and they're telling you something other than what you want to hear, revise the conversation. 100%. I'm so sorry to hear that, Aubrey. I'm so sorry about that. Well, rest assured, I really, really want to emphasize that there is no such thing as you can't. The only way that you can screw things up beyond repair is if you truly believe that. There is no, like, you can absolutely turn things around. You can absolutely manifest something new. You can absolutely create whatever it is that you desire to have. Whatever happened in the past does not matter. Truly. I know it feels like it does, but there's absolutely 100% a way to turn it around. Always. Always. Does my specific person instantly think about what I affirm for in that exact moment? So, good question, Moon Baby. So, here's when we're talking about manifesting a specific person, a lot of people think that we are the ones changing them, but that's not really what's going on. Like, we're not changing that person that might be in front of us right now. We are the ones that are changing. We're the ones by changing your self concept, by working on yourself, you move yourself into a new state where another version of that person already exists. I talk about creation as finished a lot, and I don't know if it's something that maybe goes over a lot of people's heads because it can be very confusing. But the point of affirmations is to help change you, is to help change your self concept so that you can move into a state where that version of your SP already exists. I know, Bill. Nothing is final. Nothing is final. It's not. That's an illusion. I'm going to tell you this until I'm blue in the face because I love you. What Goddard book would you recommend to begin with? Awesome question. Awesome question. If it's the first, if you haven't read any of Neville's books before or any of his lectures, probably the best one to start with, Feeling is the Secret. Gotta be Feeling is the Secret. That one is a lot more beginner friendly. And I feel that Neville really does a good job in that book, kind of breaking down the key concepts to understand, especially going into the mind, talking about the mind and specifically the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the relationship of those two and how it affects what you create. So definitely start with Feeling is the Secret. Uh, but they're all great. All of Neville's books are fantastic. Can't go wrong with any of them. You are so welcome, Moon Baby. I've been persisting in my end and feeling pretty good until sadness. Yeah, I know that the attachment to the 3D is especially difficult. All of us are very, very wired to be attached to the 3D. So I completely understand that it can be very difficult. When you see the opposite of what you want, that can be very challenging. But again, if anything happens in your 3D that is unwanted, the first thing I would do is revise, 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 revise. And remember, the things that you're seeing on the outside are manifestations from yesterday. That they're seeds that were planted yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, right? So it's never too late to change that. It is never too late. In every moment, you have a blank slate. You have a fresh start in every moment. The 3D is it's a shadow of what you've been imagining. So you can start right here, right now, today, to begin to sow the seeds for tomorrow. Uh, Free, if you're feeling exhausted, you can absolutely take a break. What we want to avoid, obviously, is getting to a place where we are burned out. And burnout is a sure sign that we are putting too much effort into these techniques and into trying to manifest. So, first things first, I would absolutely get yourself to a place. If you're feeling the burnout and you're feeling the exhaustion, get yourself to a place first where you just can take the blood pressure down a little bit and get yourself calm and relaxed. If you need to take a break, you can absolutely take a break. What do I think about manifesting in steps for career? I love it. I love it. I'm a big proponent of manifesting in steps if that is what feels more natural and believable for you. So if trying to go from where you are right now to way over here at the top of the corporate ladder or if that feels too difficult, like whatever it is you're trying to do, and this goes for everything, not just career, but in love, in spiritual development, in personal development, whatever it might be. If it feels way too out of scope, then absolutely manifest in smaller steps. Maybe manifest, you know, your first successful transactions, things like that. If it's starting up your own business or manifest getting that raise or that promotion. But we want, and this is the most important part, guys, it's got to feel natural to us. It's got to be something that, I mean, at the very least, it has to be something that feels believable, like this could happen. When you are there, when you are manifesting in those kind of steps and it can feel more palpable to you, you're going to have a much easier time. You are so welcome. Been having dreams about your manifestation every night. Yes, dreams are a significant sign indeed. Dreams are a window to our subconscious. That is giving us a glimpse of what is going on underneath the conscious surface. So, absolutely, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Yes, exactly, Bill. Exactly. I've had to take breaks in the past myself. There's no shame in that. Does anyone feel like it's easier to live in the end and feel good in the evenings, but mornings are tough, or vice versa? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Eva. And Raina, really quick, yes, it can definitely have moments of difficulty in the morning, better in the evening, or vice versa. That's very common. Do you have to revise, or can you assume SP is past it and everything's fine? Absolutely, you can. Well, when you say assume everything is fine, are you talking about like getting an apology for something that happened, or that's what I assume you mean? But I think either way, Eva, that they're pretty similar. I mean, I'm a huge proponent of revision. Revision is something that has completely and radically changed my life. But if it's, again, if it feels more natural to just assume that everything is okay, if that feels more like the obvious thing that would happen, then 100% I would do that. I would do that. Thank you so much again for the super chat, by the way, Eva. You are awesome. I'm in the same way. Yeah, it's so for a lot of people there is a lot of struggle either in the morning or in the evening. Like some people do better at different times during the day. And for anyone who struggles in the morning, well, actually, I guess it's the same time, but we're all most of us are occupied or busier in our middle of the day, right? It's usually in those early hours or right before bed that's when we get lost in our thoughts. That's when we get lost in our mind. That's when our mind begins to wander. So naturally, those can be more difficult, seem like more difficult times, right? So if that's the case, that's really just a way, again, when you observe that, if you are observing that, that's letting you know the state of consciousness that you're occupying. Everything in your 3D, everything that you are feeling, that's giving you feedback, right? And I truly do believe that it's harder in the mornings or evenings because those are times when we are typically stuck with our own thoughts and in our own head. Oh my god, thank you, Bill. Thank you. You are so welcome. It is so good to see you. I miss you. We need to catch up soon. Is feeling the same as being in a state? How do we know that we are in a state? So, feeling is absolutely an indicator of the state of consciousness that you are in. 100%. There is a definite connection between those two. Absolutely. The state of consciousness that you are in is dependent on, again, those beliefs and those assumptions and those concepts that you carry. Those beliefs and assumptions are going to determine the state of consciousness that you occupy or the reality that you experience, hence the law of assumption. So, whatever, and those feelings that you have and the thoughts that you have are a direct connection to those beliefs and those assumptions. I'm sorry, Nina, I didn't even see your question. I'm so sorry. What are my thoughts on cord cutting? So you mean the cord between you and another person? I mean that again. Well, first off, everyone is connected, right? We are all one consciousness. We're just experiencing things on an individual level. It's weird that I felt an instantaneous urge to text my SP and she texted back, I was just thinking about you. Could she be manifesting me? No, it can certainly seem like that though. I think we've all kind of had those weird experiences where, we think about somebody and then they pop up, right? Maybe they call us or they message us and they're like, I was just thinking about you. We're the ones manifesting that. No, but in your reality, nobody else can manifest you. Like there is no other power outside of you. So basically, you're the one that created that text message. Yeah. How do you know what state you want to be in when you want many types of desires? Good question, Davis. So, if there's multiple things that you want, I assume that you mean like just in different areas of your life. Yeah. If that's the case, if there's many different things that you want, look at going more general. Look at going more with, okay, what is the overall feeling that I want to dominate? Like, what do I want to be in as far as, do I want to feel a state of gratitude? Do I want to feel a state where I am blessed? Right? I would go a bit more general. And a lot of people can be scared to do so. But if you think about it, if the dominant state that you are dwelling in is a state of gratitude, blessings will be bestowed upon you. So I would go with a state of gratitude or feeling blessed or feeling confident, feeling satisfied. I would dwell there. I would conjure up that feeling above all. How do you control your negative thoughts when you manifested my SP? How did I control my negative thoughts when I manifested my SP? Again, the turning point for me with my person was when I really went within and worked on myself. I really went in and uprooted all of those old limiting beliefs and concepts, insecurities, all of that garbage that I had been carrying with me that whole time. I had to take out that trash first. Really had to clean house with that. That's what brought me into the Sabbath. That's what brought me to that place of that inner conviction and that knowing that it was done. When we choose when choosing a different reality to create a person and we script, should we reread or just read a few times and drop it? That okay. Got you, Nina. Got you. So with scripting, should we reread, or just read a few times and drop it? Well, ultimately, the place that we were wanting to get to is the dropping it or detachment, right? So yes, if you're scripting, if that's kind of the technique that's helping you get into that state and feel that state, then I would absolutely just really focus on that feeling while you are writing it out. Like in that act, I would be really trying to get into what that feels like and just let it flow and just kind of let it carry you away. And then if you need to go back to it later and reread it as kind of a boost, then I would do so. Absolutely. Like if you were to say start having some doubts creep up the next day, then absolutely go back and reread that and get into the feeling. Getting into that state as much as possible. Yes. Yes, I've got 3 new podcast episodes I'm going to be uploading. What was my all-time favorite manifestation? My person. I love him. There's been a lot of cool things along the way, though. It's been an incredible journey, for sure. What do we do when we're still having negative thoughts, no matter how much evidence comes into the 3D? I've tested and proved I can do this, but still have doubts. I work on my self-concept lately. I'm so sorry, Alexis. This can be, it really takes a moment to get familiar with a new state. And so this really is, and what I try to tell everybody is that this is a radical new way of thinking. And it really kind of just takes being patient with ourselves and gentle with ourselves, right? And it also depends on if what you are trying to manifest, what your beliefs are, what your dominant assumptions are, because it might be easier for you to manifest some things in some areas versus others. So it could be a number of things, Alexis. That's right, Bill. It is your turn. You are so welcome, Benny. I hope you enjoy that book. It is an incredible book. What to do when you are unemployed and have to manifest money? Absolutely, I would get myself into a state where you are feeling abundant, where you are feeling that blessed. I made a video about manifesting money. If you want to check it out, it's at the beginning of one of the first videos that I made, but I go into detail in that video about some of the things that I did to manifest money. And one thing that you could be doing when it comes to a job and getting employed is imagine being in a job interview and shaking your new boss's hand as he hires you, right? Or just hearing the phone call, hearing a conversation, hear someone tell you in imagination that you got the job, right? But just play around with the idea, play around with whatever is going to help you to feel that state of comfort in knowing that you are now gainfully employed. A radical change of attitude. It is. It very much is. What helps what helps with SATs without falling asleep? So actually the next video I'm about to release is a SATs troubleshooting video. Or I'm going to go down and kind of break down the most I guess the things that people have the most trouble with and some tips to help get into a better SATs habit and to make SATs easier. Because one of the biggest things I've heard a lot of people say that, they have trouble with not falling asleep. And one thing that you could try to do is depending on, focus on the position that you're laying down in, right? So in SATs, we want to get ourselves comfortable, but not too comfortable to where we're passing out too early. So perhaps, if you're laying down, you can try sitting up, right? Or if you change the position to something that you're not usually comfortable sleeping in, like, for example, if you usually fall asleep on your back, you can try laying down on your side or vice versa. But just playing around with different ways in which you're not going to fall asleep in that position as easily. Like, obviously, we don't want to be uncomfortable, but we do want to make it a little bit like awkward and that we're not going to fall asleep right away. Stats can be very weird. It's like I have to concentrate just to imagine, so I end up staying awake. Yes, a lot of people, and that is the balance that we need to find is, you know, not putting too much effort so that we're waking ourselves back up, but also not falling asleep either. It's a dance. It really does take some practice. But I would try playing around in a different position, one that is going to help you from falling asleep. How necessary is detachment? How necessary is to stop thinking 24/7 about your desire? What's your take on it? Detachment is a really important part of this. We want to attach, and when I say detachment, I'm talking about detachment from the former self, the old man, the old story. We must detach from that old way of thinking and believing and being. Yes, absolutely. Excellent, Nina. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Scripting, visualizing, listening to your wedding song. Yes, music is powerful, you guys. If there is anything that you can put on to get you into a really good mood and to kind of get the blood pumping again and get you motivated, hell yes, hell yes. When I was manifesting my SP, what helps to stop checking the 3D? Again, with my SP and manifesting the SP, moving into that Sabbath was ultimately what needed to happen. So working on myself, that's that changed the whole scope of everything. When you are in the Sabbath, you're no longer concerned with what's going on the outside because the 3D doesn't matter. The 3D never matters. The 3D is a shadow. None of it's real. All of this, it's all up here. It's all imagination. That's the focus. I love the pattern man. Holy crap, I need to do a video about that. That's one of my favorite lectures of him. Yes. Do I limit what I expose myself to on TV and social media to avoid being triggered? I am mindful of what I take in around me, yes. I am mindful of what I consume as far as, yeah, the social media and the news. Absolutely. Because all of those things are also leaving impressions. All of those types of, watching the news or seeing something on social media, that absolutely can leave those subconscious impressions. And Neville used to talk about that a lot, about how we're constantly being fed these impressions without even realizing it. So being mindful of what you are consuming, 100%. I'm not judging you, John. I love it. It's a beautiful song. Thank you, thank you. I absolutely love the 12 Disciples. I'm glad that you found it helpful. And that is an incredible chapter. I recommend it to everyone. If you have not read that chapter, that is a must. I believe it's chapter 18 of Your Faith is Your Fortune, or watch the video that I made on it. The issue of doubt seems to be having patience with the person. So the concept of time is that is a big one for a lot of people. But why is it taking so long? Feeling. You manifested a trip to Jamaica in 2 days. That's impressive. Hell yeah. Yes. When focusing on self concept, genuinely and sincerely do it for you. Do it for you. And this is where we need to be honest with ourselves because a lot of people will work on self concept for their person's sake and not for us. We got to be honest with ourselves. It's got to be for us. You cannot trick your subconscious. You cannot fool yourself. You got to be honest. How to persist when the other person doesn't care? What have I told you about the 3D? What have I told you about the 3D? If we are reacting to the 3D, you're going to keep yourself in that cycle for as long as it takes. Ask me how I know. Is it possible to manifest an SP if you stop going to the place where they go? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't matter the physical location of you or your person, or if you stop hanging out with them. None of that matters. You can absolutely still manifest an SP. What exactly is a mental diet? A mental diet is being mindful of the thoughts and inner conversations that are going on, the mental dialogue, what's going on in your mind throughout your day. It's being aware and observant of what is going through your mind in your day to day. That's a mental diet. I am so sorry about the sound. I know the sound quality is not that great. I'm waiting on a mic to come in, and I will do another live Q&A when it does. I just really wanted to get on here today because it's been a while since I uploaded a video. I have been super busy with moving. It's been nuts, but I apologize for the sound quality. Oh, thank you. Thank you, dog lady. I love your name. Yes, RN. Way to be mindful. A lot of the reality TV shows and the drama and the relation, yeah, careful. Careful. Do you consider the mental diet a technique or part of manifestation? It is absolutely a part of it. Mental diet is something we should be doing anyways. 100%. I bought lots of gothic jokers 'cause thank you. I know I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing the '90s back with the chokers. Well, I don't have one on anymore right now, but how do you feel about manifesting exes? I mean, I'm a huge proponent for whatever it is that you desire to manifest. Like, how do I personally feel about it? If it's what you want, if it's what makes you happy, I don't have any problem with it. I've done it, so no. If not being around him anymore, would you suggest doing sats and just visualizing having a relationship? And it sounds like you may be worrying too much about how it's gonna manifest and how it's possibly gonna come about, and rest assured that that's not your job, that's not our job to figure out the how. So that takes a lot of pressure off of us because so long as we are dwelling in that state, that desired state, we don't need to know how it's gonna possibly come about. So I would just suggest doing fast or whatever works best for you. Whatever is feeling more natural, whatever feels best to just get yourself to that place where the two of you are together again, do that. Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining again. This has been awesome. So I am manifesting an SP back. Mental diet here will be having healthy conversation with my SP. And assuming we have a strong bond. So mental diet really is just paying attention to what is going on in your mind. Now, absolutely, you can imagine hearing conversations with your SP. Absolutely, you can imagine, hearing congratulations or hearing those things that you want your SP to tell you. But that would be more along the lines of like the telephone technique or something like that. Mental diet is more just the mindfulness, it's the observation. What are your thoughts? What are the inner conversations? What's the inner dialogue? Because that is going to directly tell you the state of consciousness that you are occupying, that you are dwelling in. So if we are noticing that we're having negative thoughts or inner arguments or things that we don't want, that is a direct connection to the state of consciousness that we are in. Yes, keep doing that. Keep doing that. It's fun. And do it to have fun with it. Have fun with it, you guys. More than anything, just have fun with it. Whatever you're doing, the technique doesn't matter as long as you are having fun. It feels natural and it feels good. Freedom spark. Feeling is the secret. Does feeling mean emotion or is it the feeling of having it? Yes, no, excellent question. That's one that I get a lot. And it's the feeling of having it. It's the feeling of it's done. It's the feeling of this is my reality now. This is how it is. It's not so much the emotion. A lot of people equate feeling to emotion, right? So they may try to force an emotion to come up. That's not what we that's not the way to go about it. It's the feeling of this is done. This is a reality that I live in now. This is a reality that I occupy now. It just feels natural. Of course. If we're having contradicting thoughts, does it mean that you're in the unwanted state? Yes, your the thoughts that you have, the, inner conversations, all of that stems from the state that you are in. But also remember that we are moving in and out of states all the time. We are occupying many, many, many states a day or at any given time. It's it's the state of consciousness that you occupy the most. So it's not that you can never have a bad thought. It's not that you can never have a bad day or anything like that. It's just, are you having more of the negatives and more anxiousness and more of what you don't want? Or is it more the feeling of naturalness? Is it more the feeling of calm? Is it more the feeling of confidence? Like, where are you more of the time? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. How do you make sure you're doing self-concept solely for yourself and not to try to manifest a result? I enjoy how self-concept is makes me feel, but I also feel like I'm doing it to manifest. Good observation. Good observation. That is something that, again, coming into this, we all come to the law of assumption and find out about the law because we desire something, right? So we do need to be mindful of, like, and how to do it for yourself. Is that your question? Make sure you're doing something fully for yourself, because ultimately the change happens through us, right? So anything that we desire to see, it has to come through us first, right? Has to. So do the self concept work because it feels good. Do it because it helps you feel better. Because it does. It absolutely does. And why would we not want to feel better? Yeah. I know. Yep, one moment, guys. All right. Sorry about that. All right. I don't know where this hour went. I just got time to answer a couple more questions and then I do have to get going. Thank you, E. I am so glad. I am so glad. When you were manifesting your SP and you entered the Sabbath, how were you able to stay in that place? Did it last long? I feel like I was there before and somehow got out of it after about 5 or 6 days. So there were times before where I thought I was in the Sabbath, but I absolutely was not. There were times where I felt good, I was having good days, but ultimately I was still reverting back. I was still reverting back. And it really came down to the fact that I was focusing more on my person than I was on myself, right? So really, really focus on you above anyone else. And yes, with that, like, as you begin to change more and more, as you begin to recondition those old beliefs and those old concepts and those old ideas, that's when you move into a new state. That's when you enter the Sabbath. And it is a place of, it's a calm, confident knowing. It's the best way to describe it. It is that confident knowing that this is done. Basically, it became my dominant state of consciousness. The new me became the dominant state. So the dominant state became the confident one, the assured one, the state of gratitude versus the state of insecure, the state of jealous, the state of lack, of being unwanted. That became my dominant state of consciousness. The new me became the dominant state of confidence and feeling loved and feeling blessed. So that's where I kept going back to because, again, we're creatures of habit. We're going to keep going back to that place that is more familiar to us. My hairdo is gorgeous. Thank you. 60s and 90s combined. Exactly. I'm bringing it back. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love this. I love doing this. I will. I will be doing more lives. And especially because over the next 2 months or so, as I'm going to be shifting and moving a few things around, I'll definitely be coming on here more and doing lives. And I'm going to be taking, instead of doing videos, I'm going to be doing more live streams, but talking about, again, different topics surrounding the law. And I will have a microphone moving forward. So the sound quality will be much better. There's other LOI gurus teaching us something better. That's a questioning of God's ability, your ability to manifest. Yes, yes, that is absolutely questioning God's ability. Do not do that. Do not do that. The whole this or something better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Yep. Don't do it. You can absolutely have whatever it is you desire. 100%. Don't get caught up in the notion that you need to settle for something else or that something is out of reach or that it's off limits or that none of that's true. None of that's true. Yep, don't do it. Don't do it. Liz. Manifest my SP from you were not the one to add feelings for you, but now he wants polyamory. How did that happen? Now we have no contact. Any tips to get him finally just for me? Imagine hearing whatever it is you want to hear and say. That's one example. Focus on being the only one. Focus on being the one who was always chosen, whatever that feels like to you. I mean, there's many different ways to get into a state. There's many different ways that we can play in imagination and feel what it's like to be in that place where we desire to be. But I would absolutely begin to really imagine that you are the only one. It is just you. There's no one else. If I revise things I'm ashamed of from my past, how can I maintain a clear conscience if someone asks me about my past and I say things never happened? That is a good question, RN. If I revise things I'm ashamed of from my past, how can I maintain a clear conscience if someone asks me about my past and I say things never happened? I'm trying to understand. I'm not an advocate of lying to people. We don't have to lie about, you know, whatever happened. So no, I wouldn't advocate doing that. The point of revision is to, again, manifesting something from our past, changing something from our past is no different from changing something from our future or in our future because there is no past, there is no future. Those are just made up concepts. There is only ever now. And if you think about what a memory is, a memory is an imaginal act. That's all it is. So we use our vision to undo any memory or imaginal act that has been keeping us in a feedback loop. And if somebody asks you something that, you know, maybe was bad or anything like that, is that what you're trying to say? How do you, if someone asks about something that happened that you're not proud of, I would still, if somebody asks, again, I'm not an advocate for lying. You know, you can tell them whatever you want to say to them, but you're going to know because, again, you know about the law now. You're going to know that what happened, the old story, was created from a place of not knowing. We were asleep, right? We were effectively asleep. When these unwanted things were created in the past, we didn't know what we were doing. And that's another thing that revision is there for. It's a form of forgiveness. So it's not that you have to say that it never happened. You just have to have that knowing that you have changed things. Basically, knowing that that was the old story. That was the old story. What is the difference between Neville and law of attraction? I actually made a video talking all about the difference between Neville and the law of attraction. But the biggest thing I would say to take away from, yes, there are a lot of similarities, but the biggest thing I noticed is that law of attraction teaches that there is something outside of you that we are at the mercy of, aka the universe. We're at the mercy of the universe to get us what we want. Neville is very self based and self focused. Neville says that there is nothing outside of you that has any kind of power over you, that has any kind of control over you. So that's got to be the biggest. There is nothing outside of you that can dictate or determine what happens. Yep. Neville teaches the law of assumption, and I'm actually going to make a video about that too. I'm going to make a video about law of assumption 101 for those who are brand spanking new to it. God is controlling us. Your consciousness is God. You are the God of your reality. There is no outside God. There is no God somewhere else. Your awareness is God. Thank you so much, Bill. I got your email. I'm going to get back to you very soon. Much love. Hang in there. I will talk to you very soon. RN, did you not hear about my? I did answer the super chat question about revision. Did you not hear it? Yeah, I talked about revising. Uh, your question was about how to maintain a clear conscience. If someone asks you something about your past that you're revising, and you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to somebody about anything that happened in your past. Again, the point of revision is just like to manifest something in the future, manifesting something from our past or changing something from our past is breaking those feedback loops. It's breaking those beliefs and assumptions that were formed because of the experiences that we had, right? So if somebody asks you something about your past that is unwanted and something that maybe you're ashamed of, I'm not an advocate to say lie to them and say something else happened. I mean, tell them whatever you're comfortable with telling them, of course. But anytime you talk about the old story, do it from a place of knowing that it's just that. It's the old story. It doesn't matter. All of the things that happened to, like, what we did, our actions, that was all before we knew about the law. We didn't know any better. So it's knowing that that is no longer the state of consciousness that you associate with, that you occupy. You no longer dwell there. It's a shadow. Your memories are imaginal acts, and they're just shadows. So I personally don't advocate lying, but again, like, you're also welcome to tell people and communicate however, whatever you're comfortable with, however much you're comfortable with. So if you don't want to talk about something from your past, then I wouldn't. I hope that makes sense. RN, did you hear that? Did I I swear I was talking about it earlier. Maybe there was some confusion there. I'm sorry. Unless was there another super chat that I missed? Okay. What if I don't want a manifestation anymore? Will it die? I mean, yes, whatever. If you take your focus and attention away from something, it will no longer be a currency in your reality. So yes, if you change your mind and decide that you don't want to manifest something anymore, I would just turn my attention away from that thing. Absolutely. Pearl of Great Price is a fantastic lecture. It is a must read for everyone. Everyone, everyone. Everyone, everyone. Okay. Of course, RN. I'm sorry if you didn't hear me the first time or I'm sorry for the confusion, but I hope that made sense. You are so welcome. All right. I love you all so much. I do have to wrap this up, but hold on. This was so much fun. I need to do this more often. I do love doing lives. I don't do them nearly enough. Thank you. Thank you, Tabia? Tabia? Okay, absolutely. And yes, I know there were so many questions. I try to get to as many of them as possible, but again, I will be doing this again more often. So never worry. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do need to wrap up, but much love to all of you. Hang in there. And thank you so much again. Thank you so much again. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of the day wherever in the world you might be. Much love, guys. Talk soon. Bye.